We'll be starting in just a moment. Hello, Mike. Hello, Julie. We should have a special guest today. My sister Maria should be joining us. And once again, we'll be starting in just a few moments. Oh, my favorite cousin Marianne is here. Mike has a good point. Tonight could be interesting because he sees Luminar as much as being rich in color. And you spell color the English way. All right. And here we begin. Hello and welcome to another Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Benelli. Now, our topic today is going to be really cool. We're going to talk about how to create timeless black and white photos. How to create timeless black and white photos. And my buddy Mike here brought out a good point, and he said that today's class or lesson is going to be interesting because he sees Luminar as much of being a color-rich application. So, and I'm going to show you how with black and white you can enhance the colors to make the black and white look totally different. So this is going to be really cool. And, oh, Ev, I was just thinking about you. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I was actually going to call you, Ev, to have you on as one of the guests today. I apologize. So this episode came about because my sister Maria sent me a cell phone picture of one of my parents' weddings photos. Now imagine my childhood home. She still lives there. It's huge. And we have this long hallway with the bathrooms on one side, a bedroom, and then you're going down to the master bedroom and the second master bedroom. So this hallway is huge. They have all the family wedding photos of my parents all up and down the hallway, and I recreated those for them. I retouched them and converted them to black and white. So I'm going to show you what I started with, then how I converted them. So she found extra photos that we'd never seen before. So the images I'm going to show you were the images we looked at growing up as a child, but then obviously at where I am now in this position, I realized that they should have been black and white photos. So I'll show you those in a moment. Now, but before we begin, I want to give a shout out to our partner, Fujifilm, and play a little message with them reminding us to stay safe, stay home. Now, what's really cool is Fuji has a couple ebooks that they're giving away. This is the same one I showed yesterday. We have another one I'll show you on Monday on speed lighting. So this one here is the picture perfect portraits. Just fill it out, hit the submit button, and then they'll send you an ebook. It's a really good ebook. You'll like it. So again, for Fujifilm, thank you so much for being our partner. All right, hey, let's dive in. So here I am, and I just absolutely love these photos of my parents' wedding, 1949. 1949 is when they were married, and I found out that it was my cousin Leonard, well, my father's cousin, my cousin, who actually took the photos. So we had our relative that actually took these photos for them. Now, I like it. I love the composition. I love everything about it, except it's faded, or so I thought. But this is what it looks like at our home. All right? We're going to convert them to make them look even better. Now, at the same time, I'm going to use the tonality looks that Rich Harrington supplied for us. I'm going to show you where you can get those. If you click on Get More Luminar Looks, let's see, it's going to bring you to the marketplace. So here, these are the signature looks you can purchase. But if you click on looks, some of these are free looks, and there are some paid looks. Just come all the way down to the bottom, and there it is. Tonality. He spent a long time recreating these. So check them out. You just click to learn more, download them, and those are free of charge. All right? So that's what I did here. Now, I went in and just started clicking on different ones to see the changes. But look at that. Already it's looking better. I like it. Nice. All right, so this is how I started experimenting. The one I absolutely fell in love with, let's see, is Old Memories. Boom. Look at that. Before and after. All right, how cool is that? Now, here's a little, let's see. I'm going to sneak in as an educator. I like sneaking in little things, little nuggets of information for you guys. I'm going to switch over to the edit view, and I want you to look very close at our tool menus. Ready? So I'm going to switch over. Do you notice anything different? So look close. We have our tools, Essentials, Creative, Portrait, Professional. Oh, what the heck is this suitcase? All right, this is the deprecated tools. Now, I looked up and actually had Alexa. I asked Alexa to define deprecated, and she came back and said it's strongly discouraged, and in need of change. So that's why the engineering team designed it for that, because these are the old filters that were used in Luminar 3. Filters. Do you remember we switched over to tools? So back then we used filters. Now they're called tools. Tools fix and solve problems. Filters are things you apply to make changes. All right? So if you click on this, these are the old filters they were used. Now, and they still work, okay? But eventually, they're going to get rid of them, all right? So what do? Real simple. I'm going to look at clarity and tone. So for clarity and tone, look what it's doing. Good. And tone, not so much, all right? So I'm going to get rid of those two. And what I'm going to substitute them with is, you guessed it, AI Enhancer. Look at that. Ready? It automatically improves color, detail, tone, and depth of an image. So this right here, look at that. It's going to replace, clarity and tone. So I could reset it, and now it's gone. Tone, reset it, it's gone. All right? So now we have structure and microstructure to work with. Here's structure. Now watch close. Notice the backgrounds. Ready? It's a negative value. So it's a negative value that's been added. So it's making it smoother. Oh, let me go back to it. Just so I got to the climax point. Here we go. Ready? I almost did it again. There it is. So look close. Here's my Uncle John. And I think this is my cousin John. Ready? Look at the background. Very slight. He sounds smoothing it just a little bit. But the problem is the old structure also smoothed everything in the photo. Let me turn this off. The new structure we're going to go to is the AI structure. AI structure is going to deal with the background, and it's human aware. So it knows that these are faces. It's not going to mess with the faces or the skin. Look at that. So now I brought it back a bit, so look what it's doing. Before, after. Are you able to see that right there? Look at this. Before, after. It may not seem like a lot, but that little extra, look at that. Those little extras add up. So we have that set. I'll come back over and I can click reset. Now, microstructure. All right, so we saw what microstructure is doing. Look at that. Look at my dad. Ready? Before, after. You see that? Now remember, these were captured on a very inexpensive scanner, so they look good. Obviously, the originals will look much better. So now, if that was microstructure, what was replaced with it? Detail enhancer. Now I have more options to where I can control the small details, medium, we'll look at that already, and then the larger detail. Well, let me make sure I have that off. There we go. All right, so before, after. Look how that's bringing back to the detail, but let's bring it back just a little bit, right about here. There we go. Just a little extra to make it appear sharper. Great, so I'm going to come back and hit reset. Now it's gone. Now, notice color temperature and Big Mike. This is where we talk about color changing up the appearance of black and white. This was added. Here's a little tip. Sometimes you can add tools and you turn them off or don't apply any changes to them. I'm sorry, take it back. Tools, you could apply just a slight change, but turn it off and save it with your Luminar look, so then you have options. So imagine like the black and white tool. We can add it to a color photo and then just make sure we turn it off, save it inside of our look. Now, when you run that look, you have the option of either color or black and white. It's right there. Turn it on, it converts to black and white. So that's a little hidden trick. So here, they didn't do anything. But ready? Watch when I do adjust the color. Look at that. See, so color still plays a role in black and white. Since I don't need it, we'll erase it. All right. And notice the suitcase is gone. So we just recreated this Luminar look for our new version. And let's see. I did save it. What did I save it as? You know what? I know. I'm pretty sure I gave it the same name. So what was it? What was the name? Here it is. Old Memories. Yep. So here's Old Memories 4.2. So I just saved it as the same name as the old look, but then I put V for version 4.2, and now we're set. All right. So let's take it a couple steps further. Now, I like it a lot, and we're off to a great start. I'm going to click on the canvas tools, and let's work on cropping. Now, I know my sister is going to want this to be printed a 4x8. So a 4x8 ratio is 4x, I know she wants to have an 8x10, an 8x10. So the ratio is 4 to 5. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. So this right here is a perfect 8x10. 8x10 also equates to a nice 16x20. Good. So I got rid of and cropped around the excess. There we have it. So perfect 8x10. All right. Now I have it set. We don't need to stop here. I can come into the light, and if I adjust the blacks, look at this. Look how it's bringing back some of the nice contrast. And while I'm here, let's see what smart contrast is doing. Nope. Let's go negative. Too much. Yep. I like it, but I'm not going to use it for this image. All right. Before, after, let's take it one step further. All right, Big Mike, are you ready for this? I'm going to come down to the creative tools. Ooh, look at this. I just realized the old, so it added glow to this also. How cool is that? Let's put a little soft glow. I like that. All right, so I'm going to click on the color styles. Color styles for black and white. Interesting. Watch this. When I start going down through the list, look at how it's changing. Good. We'll find one that we really like. Well, I like that. Was it Color Punch Hot? Just going to go cycle through these. That was nice too. Good. Ooh, what was that? Smoky. I like smoky and I like tritone. We have a lot more, right? So we don't need to go through all of them, but I just want to select. Yep. Okay, so what do we say? Smoky was, I like smoky. All right, so I'm going to use smoky. And I can check the contrast. Look at that. So let's zoom in a little bit so you can have a better look. So before, after. So look how color is playing a role in black and white. Good, I like that a lot. Look at that. All right, one last step I want to do is for the vignette. Now let's just choose the happy couple. Here. There we go. Let's bring it out just a little bit. All right, and how about inner light? No, I'm fine with it. That's good. All right, yep. Okay, good. Good. Look at that. So it's definitely drawing attention to my parents. God, I love that photo. All right. So we're set. Let's come back over to the old memories. And I want to update with the current settings. Now I just updated old memories to all the settings that we just created. Good. So I have that set. Now I'm going to come back here. Here's my grandparents, or the wedding party. Click. And look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, this came out a little dark, no problem. Let's bump up the shadows a little bit. Gotcha. Done. We'll crop in a moment. And, oh, look at this. God, it's just 1949. They weren't extremely wealthy, but look at the faces. Look at the happy smiles. Click. And bam. Awesome. Okay, so he looks a little too dark. So let's bring out the shadows again. Good. And you know what? I know why he's dark. I bet. Oh, look at this. Look what the curve adjustment it did for us. Good. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see if this pops up. And of course, oh, there it is. My sister Maria. Oh, thank you so much. All right, so we have this. I bet you I know what it is. I bet you it's the vignette. Yep, there it is. You saw the vignette made by, oh, that's my father's favorite cousin. I thought he was the best man at the wedding. So, Pete Salvaggio. I can't believe I can remember that. Pete Salvaggio. All right, so we're going to come down and edit that. We're going to erase the effect at, let's do 100% opacity. And just right over his face. There it is. All right, great. And I brought it back out. Yep. And I brought it back out. Beautiful. All right, now My sister says, hey, I want this to be an 8x10 also. All right, so let's grab from the canvas tools. As soon as it comes up, we'll grab the crop tool, make sure we have the proper dimensions. Oops, wrong side. 4x5, so it's 5x4. Crop it in, and let's rotate just a little bit. About there, and done. So that one looks good. And we have, oh, notice something up here. So let's do that crop tool again. Notice when I do the crop tool again, it starts back where it left off. So I don't have to recrop again, so it's non-destructive. And that's the whole key. Beautiful. We keep pushing is these are non-destructive changes, meaning at any point, I can always go back to the original and have a perfect copy. So visualize in the old days when we used to use our tape recorder and we used to record the radio. A song came on the radio, shh, everyone quiet, click. That was a horrible copy, but we didn't care. Imagine if we had the original that the radio stations were using. If we made a copy of that, that's going to be superior. So here, think of that as these are your originals and they're safe. All right? So now I have this one set. Let's go to the last one. Here we are. And let's give it a moment. There we go. I can click the crop tool up here, which is the same. I'm going to bring it down, but the difference is I'm going to need to rotate this. Sorry, Grandma Rose, right there. I want to make sure we don't cut her off too much. Ooh, but look at that mess. There we go. All right, looks good and done. Now keep in mind, with the vignette tool, post-crop means that before the crop, so this is before the crop, that's after the crop. So it's recalculating the change. The only thing I did do, I messed up a little bit, is right up on here. So I want to come back and paint that in on top. There we go. Sorry, on his face. Now I know I'm nitpicking. There we go. Got it. And done. All right. So, how easy was that? 1, 2, 3, and we were able to convert those dull, drabby photos to make them look so cool like this. Now, let's see. Let's see. I'm assuming you... Oh, okay. Yes, I did scan these. So, Tom said, he's assuming I scanned these. Yes, I did scan those at 300 ppi, pixels per inch. In fact, let's make sure. So if I click on the information icon up here, all right, look at that. Oh, that is so cool. So, Tom, thank you. You know, and I didn't pay Tom. I didn't text him and say, hey, Tom, quick, ask this question because it'll be a really cool question to ask. This is why I love that we have these discussions because, Tom, you just showed us and everyone else that even though this wasn't shot with a camera, it was scanned. It shows that I used my father's HP ScanJet 3500. Now, I wish it would show us, oh, it is up here. So here's the DPI. And there's a whole calculation formula you can follow. It's times 1 million, and then you divide it. Too much math. All I know is you can pop those figures in. What does these dimensions equal to? How many pixels per inch? And I'm pretty sure I scanned it at 300 ppi, pixels per inch. So Tom, thank you so much. All right. Now, with that being said, Here it is, guys. So I did show you that, right? Good. But how cool is that? So right here it shows what it was scanned with. So it was scanned, like I said, with the HP scanner. All right? So Tom, thank you again for that one. Now, yes, this looks amazing. And you should be saying, well, Vanelli, those were images that will already look phenomenal in black and white because of the way they were shot. And that's true. So the question earlier was asked, when do you convert to black and white? My buddy Richard asked this. When do you convert to black and white? I gave him my dead honest answer. You may not like it, but I'll tell you, I usually convert to black and white when I screwed up the image. So if it's a little blurry or there's not really much excitement to the image, I try to convert it to black and white to see if I can actually make the image come back to life again, and it does. A second reason why you convert to black and white is if the color is competing too much with the subject. If the colors are competing too much to where you're losing the subjects or you're losing the message of the photo, try to convert it to black and white and see what that does. All right? So here we are. I want to come back to these portraits. Now, let's see. I did this one earlier. I'm going to not let you see me reset it. So I want you to get the full effect of this. Reset, there we go. All right, so this is the image we're going to use. All right, now, why will this make a good black and white? Well, look at it. Look at the textures around it. Now, what I didn't show you is the actual settings for black and white. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you right now. Remember, Skylum's approach is to be tool-centric, or is not to be tool-centric, is to be purpose-centric, not tool-centric. To problem solve, not to get all caught up in all these sliders that you're using. That's why you're going to notice there's not a whole lot of sliders to a lot of these tools. So let's go to the black and white tool. Do you remember the old days up in here at the very top? You would have red, yellow, green, cyan, magenta, or blue and magenta, the colors, right? So what we're going to do here is quite simple. Instead of having these colors up in here, the engineers made it proficient by putting them down, and then the saturation is over here. So if for whatever reason I want to take a black and white image, and Mike, like we were talking, I want to slap a little bit of color in it, reds are typically going to be found in the skin tones. Yellows, look at that. Do you see it? Yellows are also going to be found in the skin tones. So red, orange, yellow skin tones. For this image, not a whole lot of green. Cyan, same thing. But watch the blue. Look at that. So look how much blue is in the scene. And then for magenta, not a whole lot. All right? So we could, in theory, come in and just make this a nice muted black and white image. Right? So all I did was I added it to her face, nothing else. And now it just looks different. It looks like this is black and white. And here's, it looks like there's no color on the stones, and I brought the color back onto her. All right, so that's what saturation does. Now, here's the luminance. I want to see if I want her skin darker or brighter. So I could tweak it and get it to the exact tone that I like. You already said there wasn't a whole lot of green in the scene, but there was blue. Look at this. All right? And there wasn't a whole bunch of magenta. So how cool is that? So there's my black and white conversion. I'm looking at the skin tone. I want to bring out just a little bit more right there. All right. There we go. Now it matches a little bit better. All right. So what does black and white scream? Black and white really thrives on structure and details. It just looks it's almost like an HDR effect. So what we want to do is not so much. I don't want this to be the focus. I want her to be the focus. But I do like what it's doing to the wall. So I'm going to just come into a negative value, small. Let's see what boost does for us. Okay. So boost is going to intensify the surrounding area. What I really want is a color enhancers. Let's bring out some detail. Look at this. Nice. Before, after. See how she looked a little soft here? That looks great. And ready for this? Let's get creative. I'm going to add a little bit of film grain. Now, let's not mistaken, when I say film grain, we're not adding digital noise. We're not ISO noise. We're not adding that. We're adding grain. We're adding a little amount of grain to the image, just especially when we print it, to make it look better. So let's go to an extreme. That's an extreme. We don't want that. In fact, let me go to an extreme. I can adjust the size to make it bigger or finer, and the roughness of it. All right. Right about here, that's good. And now I'm going to dial it way back. I'm looking on her. Let's zoom it to 100%. There we go. Just a little. Look at that. Too much, right about there. So it doesn't look like we're adding a whole lot. It's just that little extra that, oh, I did it again. So let me bring it back. Here we go. There it is. Before, or I'm sorry, that's after. Before. So we'll notice it more when we start printing. And fit the screen. So there we have a new black and white image. And again, we could do what we did earlier. Come over to the colors. Oh, it is. Smokey's already chosen. Look at that. Good. And the other one looks good. No, I like London. I really like London. All right. Got that set, and yes, I know what you're thinking. Pop a little vignette on it. Choose her. Dial it in. I like that. And dial it back just a bit. A little bit of inner light. There it is. All right, let's see if it makes a difference. Look at that. Just enough. Do you see that? Where it's bringing the attention right to her. All right. I love it. Looks. Let's save it. Let's go black and white. With grain. All right, black and white with grain. Click save. Voila, we're done. All right. Guys, how simple was that? Wasn't that really cool? So, and like my buddy Mike said, yeah, when you think about it, we look with the powerful tools of Luminar is, wow, how much color you can just pull out of an image. Well, we do the same thing with black and whites. And do you see how color played a role in that? So even though it's black and white, it's cool that we can add color tones and different things along those lines. So my suggestion would be download what Rich Harrington did. I'm so sorry. My buddy, the hobby hacker. I'm sorry I'm late. I was ironically editing photos in Luminar. Oh, God. All right, this group is just, you guys are way too much. All right, so check out the tonal presets that we talked about, or yeah, the looks that Harrington spent a whole weekend on converting over for everyone. Look at the ones you like, and then analyze them and think, well, why do I like them? And then create your own. All right. So before I forget, one more time, for those that came in a little bit late, Fuji is one of our partners, and they have a couple really killer ebooks that they're sending out, and this one is the Picture Perfect Portraits. Picture Perfect Portraits. Check it out, and you can download it. How do I say this to you guys politely? Oh, thank you so much. So, how do I say this to you guys politely? And Russell, since you're, and since my buddy Russell is over in Orlando, I'm going to download the ebook to my iPad. And please don't be upset. We get to go to the beaches. So chances are I'm going to find a secluded spot on the beach, and I'll get to read about the portraits, and then we'll come up with some really cool ideas. So for those of you that don't live in Florida or have this beautiful weather that we have, I apologize. I will soak it all up for you and bring it back to you on Monday. All right? But guys, thank you so much for joining us. And just like my sister, she gave me the inspiration to come up with this concept on black and white. I know my buddy Mike is he's a pilot, he's heavily into avionic photos, planes and stuff. I'm going to try to come up with something for him on that. If you have suggestions, please put it in the box below. Please give us a thumbs up to show the love, and then hit the notification bell. So if you want to be notified when future episodes are out. So guys, again, thank you, and your comments are always appreciated. I'll pick you guys up again on Monday. Have a great weekend.